name is Erica Hamblem, and I am the current VP of Training with Hillsborough County Council, PTA. I am also going to be the incoming president at Liberty Middle School, and I have also served on the board at Leeds K-8. I am so pleased that you guys took time out of your schedule to join me today on a Thursday, during the summer. This is fabulous. This is I think this is the biggest turnout I've had to date. Okay, so I am going to share my screen, and I am just going to share it to make it easier. All right. So first, I would like to direct all of you to visit our website, HCCPTA I want you to click up at the top, local unit resources. I want you to go down to PTSA training resources. And what you will see is every time we hold a training, if you can't make it, if you have to leave early, this is where I want you to come, because as you can see, all the materials that we will be covering today, you will find this is a copy of the PowerPoint. This will be we have an updated due structure that I'll be talking about. And then I'm also going to be talking about compliance, and I have a checklist here. So anything that's in there, you can, you missed the recording, perhaps we're dragging our feet and we don't get this posted quickly enough for you. You can always come to the website, because I will have all of these materials loaded for you before the training begins. Okay, where is my PowerPoint? All right, so new and returning officers, I want to welcome all of you. I've revamped this training in the past. It's been called President, Secretary, and Treasurers. And I will still be holding that training, but there's so much information in there that sometimes you can leave a little bit dazed and confused, and I don't want that for anybody. So this one is more, it's going to focus on some key pieces of information that I want all of you officers to be focusing on. And then it's also designed to show you where to find information. And then also, I want you to have a face. Amy Marie Granger Welch is on with us tonight, or this morning, and then Kimberly McDonough. And Kimberly McDonough is our new VP of Local Units. So if all of these resources that you'll be shown today, and then also on our website, which I will be working over the next few weeks to clean up, if there's something there, if you have a unique situation, please start with Kimberly. She's amazing. She's a longtime PTA advocate, and she's out. I'm not sure, Kimberly, are you still at Mulrennan? But she's going to be.
Yes.
Okay. So she's the president out at Mulrennan Middle, and she's an amazing resource for you. And then if you need some one-on-one training, by all means, you're welcome to reach out. We have a new treasurer this year. Her name is Stacy Keller. She joins us from Dawson Elementary. She is fabulous. I cannot say enough good things about her. And she is also going to be holding a series of treasurer trainings and topics all throughout the year. And I do want to say, I'm not very formal when it comes to training. I don't like to just read from the PowerPoint. So if I talk of something and you want to ask a question, please raise your hand, unmute yourself, and ask your question. I do want this to be interactive, and I do want it to be useful for you. So I'd like to begin. We're kicking off a new year. It's always good to revisit what our mission is. PTA's mission is to make every child's potential a reality by engaging and empowering families and communities to advocate for all children. So I just want to clarify here that we are not a fundraising organization. We are a membership-driven organization whose mission is advocacy. We've been advocating for children for over 125 years. We are one of the oldest advocacy groups in the country, and our success is due to people like you, people who show up, people who join, people who become officers. Anything that you do to advocate for your child, other students at the school, your teachers, your local community, that's what PTA is about. And what else would I want to touch on? And that being said, we do understand that fundraising is necessary, but anytime that you are fundraising, you want to make sure that you are supporting the PTA mission. And don't forget that amazing opportunities exist out there. There are lots of grants. I recommend everybody visit National PTA Grants and see what opportunities are there. And business sponsors are a wonderful way, because if you bring in enough grants and you bring in enough business sponsors, you might not even have to hold a fundraiser. All right, so compliance requirements. Every single PTA unit all across the country has to submit 6 compliance items. And the purpose of these compliance items is that actually many of them are required by the IRS, and they help your unit stay in compliance so that you can still operate as a 501c3 nonprofit. So soon as your election is over and you have your officers, you should have updated your new and returning officers. Just so you know, Stacy Keller and myself, we've been watching the list. We see a lot of units that we know have held their elections, but they have not updated their officers yet. So you will be hearing from us because this is a very important compliance item. Next up is your audit. It is due by August 31st of every year. Please reach out to Stacy if you need help, if you have any questions. She is more than happy. If her schedule permits, she will even come out and assist you with it. Your IRS form, while it is due to the IRS by November 15th, you do not have to wait. The moment your audit is completed, you can go ahead and submit. You can finish your 990 and you can get that filed and submit a copy to Florida PTA. Membership dues for Florida PTA, they're due every month. And then Hillsborough County Council by October 1st. Bylaws are due every 3 years, and your insurance policy is due whenever it is dated. For most of us, it is September, October, possibly November. Now, the importance of these compliance items is that you, when your unit is not in compliance, meaning you are missing one of these items, it is going to impede your ability to access Facilitron. And Facilitron is what Hillsborough County Public Schools is using for all third parties. Well, actually, even the schools themselves are required to use it, but it's how they manage their schools. It's how they know how the space is being utilized. And so we don't want you to be out of compliance. We are willing to work with you. We would never stop you from using Facilitron. As soon as you get us the piece of information and we see it, Florida PTA may not have switched your status, but we can update your status and we can make sure that you can book your events in Facilitron. I do want to talk about how this year we're going to have Hillsborough County Council is going to require all of our local units to submit it. Which one is it? So your audits and your 990s, your bylaws and your insurance, particularly bylaws, audits, and 990s, you will submit those. Audits get submitted via email, audit@floridapta.org, 990@floridapta.org. That's great. This year, we are also going to ask all of our local units to also submit those documents through the compliance portal through MemberHub. Now, this is just a screenshot, but if you were to log into your MemberHub, you want to come down here on, you're on the dashboard, you want to come down on the left-hand side, you want to click compliance, then you want to click enter submissions, and you can submit them here. And the reason we're asking you to do that is there's 2 reasons. One, it's a wonderful way for you as PTA officers to keep your compliance items that are required in one spot. And then as you as officers have served your term and you move on, you are leaving a record that of these items, because most of these items, you're required to keep them forever, just like your minutes. And This way, if you leave and I come in behind you, as soon as I get administrative access to Member Hub, I would be able to see all of these documents. Let's see, make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, new this year, in May, we voted to update our bylaws. And with that came, we changed the way that we collect dues here in Hillsborough County. Prior to this, it was 20 cents a member, but it was there were some issues with that. So we wanted to make it a little easier for our local units. So what we did is we moved to a tiered flat fee. So if your membership is 49 and under, you're at $10. If you're 99 and under, you're at $25, and so on. As you can see, it moves in chunks of 100. It'll cap out. The minimum will be $10. The maximum will be 500 members at $150. And then we're still going to request, we have a Title I sponsorship where we request donations, and those enable us to support Title I units. And in addition, we are also requesting a $25 donation to our Senior Scholarship Fund. And then before I go on to talk about a little bit about Member Hub, I do want to talk about membership in general. I'm not sure if all of you are aware, but National PTA has put forth a motion to increase dues. So I did send out a informative email. Oh, I think I did it in April, perhaps early May, discussing that every time we pay dues through the Member Hub portal, it's $3.50. $1.25 is retained by Florida PTA, and then Florida passes on the remaining $2.25. National PTA has made a motion to move the dues from $2.25 to $4. And that would mean if Florida PTA does not change their dues of $1.25, you would no longer be sending in just $3.50. You would be sending in $5.25 per member. So many of our units charge $5. So you need to seriously consider at this point in time increasing your dues. The National PTA Conference is the third week in June. Amy, is that correct? Okay, third week in June. So we will know within the next couple of weeks whether that dues increase is going to go through. It might not be $4. They might move it from $2.25 to $3, but we won't know until that meeting is done. If it does go into effect, it will be October 1. And this is part of the reason that it is so critical that you update your membership with Florida PTA. That's how we communicate through you. We send out informational blasts through Member Hub, and those are the emails that we're sending this information to. All right, so Member Hub, let's talk a little bit more about it. It's free to all local units. You can use it to manage your members. You can pay your dues. Just like I told you, Hillsborough County Council is going to make it a requirement that you begin storing your compliance documents there. You can set up a merchandise store. You can use it to do a website. You can also do it to do fundraisers. And we have an amazing contact. Valerie Licata works for Member Hub. She's a longtime PTAer. And on the screen here, I've got direct support, I'm sorry, her web's, anyway, if you were to click this or, copy and paste it, this is going to bring you directly to her calendar. And that will enable you, if you need some one-on-one, you're having some trouble with something, that'll get you direct support. I mean, Valerie lives here in the county. She's very familiar with all of us. We're very fortunate to have her. In addition, right above that, I've got workshops. This is Member Hub has a tremendous amount of support. Their help pages are amazing. If you're looking to do something, go to their help pages. If you are brand new in this, you're just like, oh my gosh, Member Hub, this is where you want to start. You want to pick up these workshops because all summer long, all throughout the year, they will hold workshops and they will show you how to set up your store. They'll show you how to set up your member hub. They'll tell you everything that you want to know about it. They'll even walk you through how to import members. Let's see here. All right. So like I said, I'm not going to go, the job description for president, secretary, and treasurer it's a lot. It is. So I just wanted to touch on what everybody here should be participating on, or I'm sorry, should be focusing on as June and July go on, because we're all preparing for the start of school, which will be August 10th. So president, you need to make sure that your unit is ready to conduct business. So you can see here, we're kicking it off with compliance. The very first thing that you want to do, you want to check your bylaws. What's your insurance policy? Are your dues current? Because if you owe any dues, you are not going to be able to move forward. You need to make sure that your audits are done. So the audit for 22-23, at a minimum here in June, it should already be scheduled for sometime in July. And you are not the one doing that. Many of these are actions that are completed by either the secretary, the treasurer, or another board member, but they should be checking in with you. They should be saying, "Hi, Madam President, you know, it's done. I've got it scheduled for June 18th. We're going to be meeting at Panera Bread. You know, I'll send a copy when it's done." If you have emails, you want to make sure that passwords have been changed, that you can get into the email. You want to make sure that you have your binders. You also want to be reaching out to your team. If you're returning, that's great. Maybe you just have 1 or 2 board members. I highly encourage you, if that is the case, if you have an established board, if you're moving into your second year as president, but you only have like 2 or 3 people joining your team, send them an email directly, welcome them, make sure they have everybody's phone number, make sure that they know how business is conducted, because it can be hard to be that new person. So you just taking a few minutes, you know, to welcome, greet them, and bring them into the board as you guys all learn to work together really goes a long way in building team unity. You also want to make sure that your treasurer has updated signers and that your secretary has all the records. In a successful unit, you have to plan ahead. You should already be planning now. If you haven't met with the principal, you want to get with the principal now to get some dates on the school's calendar for anything that you might want to do. Once you have your calendar set, you want to make sure that you share that with the treasurer, and the treasurer should be getting the budget from 22-23 and preparing a budget for 23-24. Everybody does the budget slightly differently. I don't like to put numbers in because I like at my budget meeting, I like to sit down and just go line by line and tell me where were we at last year? This is where we should be at this year. And then, but I mean, that is my preference. Your treasurer might like to say, this is where we were at, this is what I'm going to put in, and then make changes as you're at that budget meeting. You also want to have a meeting to update your standing rules, which some of you can also call policies and procedures. I am working on pulling together a training. My goal is sometime in July, because if you have read the kit of materials, there are many policies that you are required to have. You should have a social media policy. You should have policies and procedures for how your treasurer and how the board handles money, how deposits are made. The standing rules really supplement the bylaws, because bylaws are not meant to tell you every single little thing. That's what your standing rules, or you can also call them policies and procedures. And then once you have your standing rules updated and your budget ready to go and your events, your calendar of events, then it's time to get together and have your summer planning meeting. And you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, haven't I planned everything? Your summer meeting is your very first board meeting. It should be sometime in July. And that's where you will be, you vote to present your budget to membership. You also vote to approve your standing rules for the 23-24 year. Now, those do not need to be presented to membership for a vote. The standing rules is just how your board operates. And then also at the summer planning meeting, if you have any events that you kick the year off, such as a welcome back breakfast or a welcome back lunch, or you're going to do open house, you're going to want to review those plans of work, make sure everybody knows what they're going to do, make sure that the amount on there is approved and you approve it at that summer planning meeting. I also use the summer planning meeting to essentially plan the whole year. So it's always a little bit longer. And the reason I do that is I like to be 1 month ahead. So when I meet with my board in August, we are wrapping up any events that occurred in August, and we are already talking about the events in September. So I always like to be ahead as much as reasonably possible. And then I cannot recommend enough for you to read your Florida PTA kit of materials. That is another reason that it is so critical that you update your new and returning officers, because in late July, early August, you will receive an email from Florida PTA with the latest kit of materials. In the meantime, let me show you on our website.
They will be changing a little bit too. So I know we have them, but just so everybody's aware, make sure once you get the new ones, you toss out the old ones.
Okay, awesome. Do you have any insight as to what might be changing? Anything we can direct them to?
I don't. I don't. I know they're working on them diligently. We just had a meeting this past weekend. So
okay. So under local unit resources, I've reorganized this a little bit. So I've got kit of materials here, and you can see that I've got it dated. It's 22-23, and this is what it looks like. So treasurers, treasurers, presidents, and secretaries, take the time to read dollars and cents. It seems like it's quite long, but Florida PTA has really, truly done a very good job. The sections are very short, rarely more than a paragraph. The table of contents is outstanding. So if you're looking, if you have a question on gift cards, it's in the table of contents. If you have a question on deposits, if you have a question on grade level spending, it's all in the table of contents, and it'll bring you exactly to where you need to be. Under officers, this is section 2 is another amazing resources, particularly for presidents, treasurers, and secretaries, because it actually really for your whole board, because that section begins with what you should be doing every single month to, prepare your board it's more high level. Obviously they can't know what you're doing at each of your schools, but in December, you should be getting ready to select your nominating committee. By April or May, you should be running your elections. It's things like that, things that move the work of the PTA unit forward. And then section 4, bylaws, that actually has, this section actually talks a lot about standing rules. So that's a great spot for you to start, because if your unit does not have standing rules, I highly recommend that you work to try to get something together. And like I said, I am working on updating our website. So I will be adding sections of standing rules. Lowry has a great set. I'm gonna look for, I wanna try to have an elementary, a middle school, and a high school set. So you can see how it might change depending on the grade levels that you're dealing with. But it's gonna take me a little bit to get that together. All right.
In the meantime, we can always share what we do have. If anybody needs, they can just reach out.
Yes. All right. So secretary, you are the one that maintains all of the records and the documents. Now, that does not mean the treasurer documents, meaning like the receipts, cash deposits, things like that. That is the responsibility of the treasurer. But the moment you see the word permanent, that does become part of your domain, because you are responsible for maintaining all the minutes. Plans of work should also be permanent. That should be part of the minutes. IRS, copy of the audit, the bylaws, copy of the insurance policy, because when your treasurer pays, they should be reporting. So like at the September meeting, I have paid the insurance policy. Great. And then that's signaling you as the secretary. Not only are you recording that it's been paid in the minutes, but that's a note to yourself to, hey, send, treasurer, please make sure that I get a copy of that, because you will add a copy of that to the minutes for the file. And again, as you can see here, I'm really trying to encourage everybody, please read your kit of material. If nothing else, hit section 2, 3, and 4. It'll really, really help you. Let me just take a look at my notes here. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah.
Anyone have any quick questions?
Yeah, I know. Has everybody left?
They're all like, Erica, too much.
I'm sorry. I actually have a question. Sure. So I'm a new secretary that's coming in for my school. So question I have is, when you're talking about the minutes, this might be kind of a silly question, but it's probably not. So for the minutes, when I'm, writing these down, when I'm recording them, is there a place on like Member Hub, or is there a certain place that I would actually be like uploading these, recording these specifically?
It is, now that is individual to every unit. So some print them, right? They'll type them up, they'll print them, and they'll put them in a binder. I personally, I like both. I like to see physical copies in a binder, but I also like to see them uploaded onto a Google Drive of some nature that is shared. I say Google because it's free and their file structure is pretty easy, and it's pretty easy to give and remove permissions as well. But yeah, it really would be between you and your board for how you want to maintain those. And then, when I say add it to the minutes, you would have, like, your minutes would look, you would type out everything that happened, but then behind those minutes, which does become part of it, you would have a copy of a plan of work if it was there. If that was the month that the bylaws were approved, you would have a copy of the bylaws. When your treasurer reports that the audit is done, a copy of the audit should be filed with those minutes, whether it's August or September, that they're reporting that it's been finished. So Jessica, I don't know, did I answer your question? Did you?
Yes, I believe so. We unfortunately, like, when we got selected on the board, it kind of happened like very last minute, like literally within the last few days of the school year. Just a lot happened within the last week. So we're still trying to figure out when we're going to come back together. So that's why I wanted to ask these questions. And after this meeting, I think I'm going to text our new president and be like, hey, I jumped on this PTA call. Hopefully this helps. And that way, hopefully we can come together soon and I can ask more questions to her. So I appreciate it.
Yes. And if you want to see, if you want to set up a quick call, we can do that too, because I can show you, what it looks like for me. I can show you, what the minutes look like, and just to give you some ideas. But I mean, a binder is also, there's nothing wrong with that either.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Yes, you got it. All right, treasurer, you're responsible for all monies and equipment. You need to keep track of your president, right, Amy? All right. So you are the one responsible, whether you are well, hold on, a little bit of if you are returning, you are setting the date of the audit. If you are incoming, the treasurer you are taking over for will still be the one responsible for setting the date of the audit. But if at all possible, you should be on that audit committee, as long as whatever your prior position, you just cannot have been a signer in the year that is being audited. So this year, so this July, everybody should be doing their audit for the 22-23 school year. So you need, at your third general meeting, you should have selected your audit committee. So you should have, right now you should be reaching out with them. You should be setting a date. And then while you're waiting for, because everybody's waiting for their June statement. But in the meantime, whether you're returning, and even if you're incoming, because you should get with the outgoing treasurer and organize the records, make sure they look good. I like to conduct a small audit on myself. I literally pull out the Florida audit form. I go through the checklist to make sure that everything is there. And this way I have confidence when I pass it off to the audit committee that there's nothing missing. Or maybe something comes up, perhaps you're missing a voided check because it got shredded. It shouldn't have been shredded, but it got shredded. That's your chance to write a little note. Hey, I made a mistake. Whatever it might be. And then this is something that hasn't really been stressed before, but particularly given the state that we live in and the frequency of hurricanes and tornadoes and rain, you really should have a supply list of all the property that is owned by the PTA. You don't have to get crazy, but if at all possible, take a picture of it, write down what the serial number is. If you can't do that, take your phone and go into your PTA closet, room, bin, whatever the school has given you, and do a video of it. Because if something were to happen to your school, if there was tornado damage, if there was a flood, if there was water, and you don't have any proof that you have these, you're not going to be able to file a claim. And so some of our schools in the southern part of Hillsborough County, they were hit by Hurricane Ian due to the winds and everything. So it is something that, you know, as my year as VP of training goes on, you're going to hear me start pushing more and more. And I definitely know the secretary, I'm sorry, Stacy, our new treasurer, is also going to push it, because it did happen at her school, and had her supply property list not been so complete, they would have been out about $3,000 or $4,000. So, I mean, there is a benefit to it. And like I said, you don't have to get, you know, even if all you have the bandwidth for is just take your phone and take a video, you at least have something. All right, you want to be working on preparing a preliminary budget. You should be setting the date for your first budget meeting. I love it if the whole board can show up, but at a minimum, it should be the president, the treasurer, and at least one other person from your board meeting, or I'm sorry, from your board. You want to, as you're working through the budget, you want to make sure that you're following the 3-to-1 rule set by the IRS, which for every fundraiser you hold, you must have 3 programs that you offer. And that another aspect too is you should not be fundraising for a specific group of individuals or a specific grade level. Rather, when you're doing your fundraising, you want it to be for all of PTA, for your entire mission, with acknowledgement that yes, parts of what you raise are going to go on a 5th grade line or a 4th grade line or a kindergarten, things of that nature. Now this is one, are there any questions on that? Because it usually we get a lot of inquiries as the year goes on.
I was actually curious that I will be coming in as the vice president for my school.
Okay.
And we usually do fundraisers technically for the 8th grade graduation events. So are we supposed to be just like saying, okay, this fundraiser is for all students, but mainly the 8th grade graduating class? Or how would we say that exactly?
Okay. You are not permitted to do, you really shouldn't be fundraising just for one grade level, because what we have seen happen is then that grade level, right, it has to stay with that grade level. But what if you raise 50,000? Then you're not completing your PTA mission, which is all children. So what you do for one grade level, you should be doing for all.
So could we say that it would be for each graduating class as they come up? Like it would be divided equally between the 3 grade levels for their own graduations.
Okay, but then you would be locking in funds, right? Because it like is 6th grade grad. You mean like 6th grade has a graduation? And
each grade level will eventually get to 8th grade, and each one of them will have a graduation.
Okay, no, because then you're burdening future boards, and then it becomes difficult, because then as soon as you say that, you literally cannot spend the money on anything else, and it becomes you add a layer of complexity. So what I recommend is you say, right, like we're fundraising, but a large portion of this is going to be for our 8th grade graduation. And you just want to make sure you're doing similar things for 6th or 7th grade. Yes. Now they're not graduating, right? They're not graduating. So Amy, you want to chime in, or Kimberly?
I was wondering how you were going to answer this.
I know it's like,
you know, it's not to say that we're not doing an 8th grade graduation, and you know, there's always, you know, the budget line can be there. It's what's happening, what we can't have is fundraising for one grade level or the dad's club, or, you know, it can't be one specific group of individuals.
That's fine.
So yeah, there, I mean, when you look at your budget as a whole, the percentage of funds that you're spending on any one group of individuals, which is your parents, your teachers, your students, it's everybody, right? Because everybody's a stakeholder in your organization. It should be equitable. You know, you don't have, when you're spending money on hospitality, it should be no more than 5% of your overall budget. So if your budget's 10,000 for the whole year, you know, under 5% and under could be spent on hospitality. And that's not us. That's a IRS thing.
Yeah, that's fine. I've come in as a board since they didn't have someone to run. And previously I've only had chair positions at the elementary. So I was just curious.
Yeah. And sure. It's really just more of a matter. Nothing's really changing. It's just more in how you word it. And what it's doing is it's helping your board, because frankly, what has happened is there have been grade levels that have raised a significant amount of money. And therein lies the problem, because then you have one grade level that you're spending, you know, 10,000 or more on, and then you're only doing what, $100 or $300 for each of the other grade levels. It just creates an imbalance, and it also creates a sense of possessiveness. It's the 8th grade line, but it's not the 8th grade, it's the PTA, right? Every dollar that comes into the PTA is for the membership as a whole. Now, the board, right? The board creates a budget and says, we're going to have this 8th grade, you know, graduation. And yes, that line might be more. So other people too, like they also think, oh, it's $1,000 for 8th grade and it's 1,000. No. Think of it more like, you know, 8th grade has a graduation, the other grade levels don't. But what are you doing for the other grade levels where you could show there's, you know, some equity there?
Okay, it's completely understandable. I will see how we can do that for this year.
Okay. All right.
Hi, my name.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Tracy. I'm calling in, so I'm not on the Zoom, but I have a couple of questions about. Yes. Well, piggybacking off of that one, how can we do it? Like, we had a hard time. I'm coming in as a new treasurer, but I was a chair position last year, and we had a lot of luck when we went to businesses and said we are fundraising for teacher appreciation. Is that against the rules, or
no? Because that's not really fundraising. That's asking for sponsorship. So that's actually quite different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
got it.
There your only limitation is you told them you were doing teacher appreciation. You just have to spend it on teacher appreciation. So that's why I'm a big fan of business sponsors, and I'm a big fan of grants, because it doesn't, donations.
And like a spirit, anything where they're asking for your W-9, correct, Erica?
Yeah, even if they don't ask for your W-9, like
a spirit night where they're cutting you a check for a percentage of something, or it's basically a donation to your PTA. So that isn't gonna be that's not gonna be subject to the 3-to-1 rule. It's the fundraisers.
Okay. And then could you just quickly go over the 3-to-1 rule for me again? I didn't hear exactly what you said that.
Yeah, no problem. And Tracy, what school are you with?
Barrington Middle.
Hi, all right. Okay, so the 3-to-1 rule, it is actually set by the IRS. And what it is for every fundraiser that you hold, you have to hold 3 programs. And that's it. And the programs can be teacher appreciation, it can be student appreciation, it can be sending out a newsletter, providing communications to your parents and to your members. It's anything that you're doing to support your mission. Does that help?
Okay, great. Thank you for clarifying that. Yes.
You're welcome. All right, so some resources. We've got Kit of Materials, we've got Hillsborough County Council's website, Florida PTA's website, and National PTA's website. And National PTA's website, everybody here needs to start looking around August, I would imagine. because they'll release every semester, they release a new round of grants. So they'll release something in August. And then if you start watching again, like December, January, February, if they get enough funding, there'll be another release of grants. And these are wonderful ways for you to bring a program into your school. And they will have everything. They'll have the letter you send out to your parents. They'll have the whole program, you know, listed for you. And if you do not get the grant funding, you can still do the program.
You don't even need to apply for the grant. You can just use their programs. All their program materials are free and accessible to any teacher, parent, anybody who wants to run them. They have STEM programs, they have reading programs, they have mental health programs. I can go on and on about the program. Reflections. Hopefully everybody's doing reflections at their school.
Yes.
All of those are great programs and super easy to run, step by step, literally. Everything's done for you. You just kind of follow the guide.
All right. So I'm going to just go back through. I'm going to just start from the bottom up. I've got Lisa Beth has asked, curious if chair positions have access to the, yes, we actually don't have a login. It's just HCCPTA You are welcome to use any resources on there that you like. And Ronaldo, yes, I'll put the slide back up in just a second. Let me just, let's see.
Okay, thank you. I was also wondering
awesome.
if anyone else uses the Shareway website.
I haven't heard of that one. What is it?
So it's basically you can get different companies. Well, if you apply, there's lots of different companies that will donate to the school, but there's different open enrollment periods or application periods.
Cool.
That is neat. I'll have to look into that.
Can you put that on the chat, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Get to the last.
Here you go.
I thought the Shareway was fee-based to get more information, but you can get kind of information draft that the grant is open, but you can't really use the program itself unless you have a membership fee, right?
I don't know. It's the first I've ever heard of this website.
I didn't see that on the website, but I went on there one time and filled out an application. Actually, I checked a bunch of different companies. So I haven't played around too much in it, but I did not see a fee. I could be wrong.
Okay. Some great ones that you can, Target, you can apply for gift cards. You can do that with Publix. Walmart has a foundation page where you can apply for grants. Wawa, you can apply for grants. You can also apply for gift baskets. You can apply for just to get water and lemonade, iced tea. The only drawback on Wawa is whichever one you pick, that's it. One and done per calendar year. You can go to Costco. You can fill out an application and you can get gift cards to support an event. You can do the same thing at Sam's Club. Let's see, locally here, we're going to be rolling, Hillsborough County Council starting in the fall, we're going to have grant opportunities for sidewalk stompers. So if you want to increase pedestrian and bicycle traffic with your school, it's a ready-made program and she will show up with all of the materials. She will walk you through everything. It's an amazing opportunity. We also have some grants that will, again, this is Hillsborough County Council. We'll have some grants coming out for internet safety. I'm not sure the amount yet because we have to do some calculations, but watch for those opportunities. We will roll those out on our website and we will also send out Member Hub communication. So if your information is not in Member Hub, you're going to be missing out on a tremendous amount of information. What are some other ways?
I've also gotten, because that's actually my chair for the elementary. Okay. Chick-fil-A gives donations.
Yep, Chick-fil-A is a wonderful community partner.
Wonderful. I got Cracker Barrel actually donated Cinnabons for our teacher appreciation, like 100 of them.
Okay, that's good.
And their cinnamon buns are awesome.
Yeah, McDonald's is good. And then our sponsor, Papa John's, cannot recommend them enough. They have the Nifty 50 program, but they also have other opportunities that they can work with you with. They're actually going to be joining us at our President and Principals Breakfast on June 19th and June 21st. June 19th is for elementary and K-8s, and June 21st is for high school and middle school. And see, I thought I wrote something down.
What was that for? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Every year, Hillsborough County Council, we host a breakfast for our presidents and principals. And this year we've extended the invitation. It's presidents, secretaries, and treasurers of all of our local units.
Nice.
Is it okay if I put away this contact screen? Because I want to put a link in the thing to our, give me just a minute. I should have been more prepared. I'm going to get you guys the link. So if you haven't already RSVP'd for the president and principals, that you can do so now. And even if your president can't go, it's okay. If just the treasurer's there, that's fine. If it's just the secretary, even if it's just, we're happy to have as many of you as can join us. All right, I'm dropping it in the chat, everyone. All right, that form, that is for president and principals breakfast. RSVP, June 19th is for elementary and K-8, and June 21st is for middle school and high school. And Tracy, if you're still on the phone with us, because I know you probably can't see this stuff on your phone, all of this information it's been sent out via Member Hub, and it's on our Facebook page, and within the next day, probably today, but I will get it up on our website as well.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes. And we also have some training coming up this Sunday at 6 p.m. Stacy Keller is going to be doing, this is for treasurers. It's for record keeping, binder setup, and transitioning. Whether you're transitioning from outgoing to incoming, or you're returning for another year, she'll walk you through everything that you should be doing. And then on June 25th, she's going to be reviewing plans of work. So plans of work are amazing. They keep your board working efficiently. It also leaves a record of what you have done for the board that comes after you.
And they sound very daunting, but they're actually really easy. It's just basically an outline of what you're going to do, what you did, kind of a thing, how much you're going to spend. That way, if I get hit by a bus, Erica knows what to do.
Yep.
When was the training for the treasurers?
It's all through, we have training scheduled all throughout.
Okay.
Let me see if I can bring it up on the, what did I send out? See if I can find it here quickly.
Is everybody in the president's Facebook page group? If you're not, I'm going to drop the link in here. We try to post president specific information in there. When you go to join, they'll put your school so we know.
Technically, I'm a vice president, but I would be interested if I'm allowed.
Yes.
It's actually just for presidents and past
presidents.
Is it?
Well, okay.
Yeah. So, but you can be, you pop into the advocacy one, because we tend to post a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I cannot, let me just.
What's going on, Erica? What do you
mean? I know.
You're a mess.
I just saw it this morning too, and now I can't find it. It's a Google conspiracy. I'm totally convinced.
No, I believe it. I'm just going to add the group link, and then you can pick the groups that you want to be part of. We also have a military family resource group. Let me pop that in here. There we go. And then you can just pick which one fits. Just make sure you put your affiliation so we know which school you're from. Does anybody else have any questions? Any good ones? Well, while Erica's looking for her list of.
Yes. All right. I've got it. I found it. All right. I'm going to share my screen again. Bear with me for the messiness. All right. So we have got, we're in this one right now. So June 11th from 6 to 7. This is for treasurers. It's record keeping, treasurer binder setup, and transitioning. And then June 25th, we have plan of work training, also 6 to 7. And then this training that I just did today, I'm going to repeat it again in the evening for anybody that couldn't make it during the day. And then July 9th, we're going to be doing IRS form training. And then here is the invitation to presidents and principals. And if you guys are okay, some of you might have already seen this Member Hub blast, but all of you who registered for this, I can also, I have your email, so I can also send you this Member Hub link directly if that, if any of you would like that.
Please, thank you.
Sure, no problem. Happy to share. All right. So like I said, I tried to keep the training short, but I do want to make sure that I'm available for questions. You have Amy and you also have Kimberly McDonough here. How are you guys doing? How are you feeling about the ending of 22-23? And are you guys ready to kick it off for 23-24? No, not all at once. Not all at once. It's okay.
Hi, I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, hi. This is Victoria Tucio. I actually have two kids at West Chase Elementary and one child at Davidson Middle School. I'm also a future teacher from Davidson Middle School as well. I'm not sure if that's going to be possible for me to do both, being a teacher and being in the PTA committee, maybe not so much. But I actually wanted to ask a question. So I did get the invitation from the principal for the PTA committee, because for about 4 years now, I've been on the PTA committee as a silent member. Should I say? I join. I pay my dues, but I'm not really that active. I would like to be more active, and I did submit an application for the SAC committee, and I'm getting an approval on that one. And I also just submitted an application a couple of days ago to join the board, the PTA. I'm not sure what I'm going to get approved for. It's something that I would like to get more involved as a mother of 3, and I don't know if this training was appropriate. I did take a lot out of it. So I just would like to let you know that I wasn't really selected to be on the PTA board, but I got into this training and it did help me to kind of make my mind about certain stuff and possibly move forward future positions of responsibilities. So was it okay that I joined this meeting, or it was maybe too early for me to join a meeting since I have not been officially selected?
No, we welcome everybody. I mean, it is geared towards officers, the ones that are running it, but the more even the membership knows, the better your membership is. I mean, the better your organization is, because we're all volunteers and we all make mistakes. I find it very beneficial when a member in the group knows that, hey, Erica, you forgot to ask for an audit committee. Oh, yes, thank you. Appreciate it.
Right. Thank you so much. That really answered my question, because I didn't know if I'm kind of like out of place a little bit, because a lot of the ladies that joined today are already appointed committee members. And I just didn't know if it's okay for me to, join this meeting moving forward, but I'm very much a planner. So I'm
awesome.
glad that I was on this meeting today.
Yeah, well, you were welcome. I hope you learned something.
Yes, I did. I actually did.
Good.
Thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Victoria. All right, Marissa, I saw you had your hand up. Oh, and just before Marissa goes, Laurel, thank you for pointing out my typo. I really do appreciate it. I will fix that.
Hi, Marissa Cans calling from Seminole Heights Elementary PTA. My hand earlier was about the 3-to-1 rule, but you already answered.
Okay, good.
But I appreciate, I put it in the chat, but I just appreciate the resources as an incoming treasurer, trying to get up to speed and make sure, you know, I have all the pieces. So I definitely appreciate the multiple links and the ability to kind of even take this on my own and make sure we do this right. Yes, I cannot recommend. Just take an evening and read that treasurer's, the section 3 dollars and cents. It'll really help you. And I actually set my binder up using the checklist on the first page of the audit, because it's kind of what, you know, everything is looking for. So I mean, the resources available are amazing. And then I'm also going to try to put even more up there. And then our new incoming treasurer, Stacy Keller, she just finished 2 years as treasurer at Dawson Elementary. She's amazing. She really is. We're very fortunate that she joined our board, and she'll be, she's very, very responsive. Her email is treasurer@hccptaptsa.org. Perfect. I noted her name earlier. So, but yeah, no, that's a great tip about the binder. So I just appreciate this. Yes. Oh, you're so welcome. Love planners. Let's see, I think okay. How's everybody else doing? Anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns? Everything going well? I mean, it's only June, but we're all planners here.
Nope. I'm just, honestly, I'm in this position because we didn't have anyone and my daughter wanted me there. So I'm just trying to not drown.
Well, please reach out, because anything we can do to help. I mean, all of us, myself, Amy, Kimberly, we've been doing this for many years. So we are more than happy to support you. Even if that just means you need to unload, you know, call me. You need a gripe? I got you.
I managed 7 years as a chair position on the elementary PTA without a board position until my daughter entered middle school.
Yay, middle school. It's the best. Good for you.
Yeah,
good for you.
And
do not check out middle school.
Yeah, don't check out. It's actually really good that you've done what you've done. And the work, as Kimberly has been educating me, and Amy as well, but it's nowhere near the level of intensity as elementary, because it is different. And a lot of the times what your unit should be focused on is moving into more of a mentor role. So for example, you're going to do an 8th grade dance. 8th graders are perfectly capable of planning that. You should just be there as a mentor with the budget.
My first thing to do was make a junior shadow board.
So we go. Oh my gosh, my heart. Hold on. What school are you at? We're gonna be singing your praises.
Stewart Middle.
Stewart.
We made a junior shadow board, and then we even added representatives for each grade level.
Welcome. That's awesome. Are you gonna join us at leadership by chance? I know a couple of your board members are going.
I will be at the PTA conference in July.
Okay.
And me and the president are kind of co-leading.
Okay.
Because she's not tech savvy.
That's quite all right.
So that's quite all right. I do more of the tech stuff, and she does more of the other stuff. But we will both be at conferences this summer.
Nice. That's awesome. I'm working on a welcome packet for all of the people that are joining us. Because I want to make sure that you check in with us at Leadership Conference. We'll have a table on Thursday, and then we're busy planning. We have a lovely little meet and greet party Friday night, and we really want to get to know you guys so that you know you have really good support here in Hillsborough County, because we, you know, what you do is really important. So looking forward to seeing you.
This is my first conference, so
I hope everybody's signed up. Hopefully everybody here has at least one person on their board going, or two. It's a great conference, and
I see Laura Raposa from Lutz. Whoop whoop. Hi, Laura.
I have a question. This is Crystal with Collins.
Yes.
In regards to updating my board that got voted in, we are changing over to a K-8 for the new year.
Okay.
And when I went to update it, there was my bylaws just got changed because we did get that approved by the membership to change the name to be the PTSA and the new, instead of taking out the elementary.
Okay.
Do I put in the school name under the bylaws, or do I have to wait until, because I don't know that the county has finalized a full out name on there, and then it wanted number of students, and there was a couple of different things. I had sent an email, but I haven't heard back yet.
Did you send it to Florida PTA asking?
What was on the page itself, so probably.
Yeah, okay. So you need to know, you're not sure if the name of the school is going to be Collins K-8 school, is that?
Oh, they sent your bylaws back. They approved
it. We got our bylaws approved. I wasn't sure how to fill in certain fields because our student number of students is going to change for next year because we're going to be adding almost 400.
Oh, that's okay.
Yes, it changed. And if it's stamped approved and you got it back, you're good.
You're good.
Okay.
Once it's stamped approved and it is in your hot little hands, you are good to go. I saw that traffic go back and forth, but then I saw the approved, so I was glad that got handled. But
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so updating the new board members on Florida PTA should just be based on the new stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And just a if you don't know the exact number, just put this year's number. And then next year, change the number. It's not, I don't know why they need that, to be honest, because it is publicly available, but hey, it's on our spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Most important part is your information so we can contact you guys.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Because, and this is, often something that isn't addressed. Things happen during the year, people have to step down, people leave, some people move. And so when you have a change of officers, you have to update it. You have to go back to floridapta.org in the upper right-hand corner. It's new and returning officers. There's a section on there where it says change of officers. So you want to, let's say it's December and, somebody is, it's a military family, right? And they're leaving. You would go there and you would say, all right, Erica is not in anymore. Now it's Amy Marie. And you would input that information. And the reason is because when you don't update it, and you have somebody that comes in, they're not going to get any of this member hub communication. And there is a tremendous amount of information that is pushed out via Florida PTA and Hillsborough County Council. And you will miss all of that. I mean, we try not to inundate you, but there are critical pieces of information that we do try to get out to our local units in a timely manner. And the only way for us to do that is member hub.
And that's just the president, secretary, or treasurer. None of the other officers. You can just go in and change those in member hub and do that in member hub. But if you're switching out, say your treasurer has to move or something happens with your treasurer, you have to also do an interim audit. So that needs to be submitted to Florida PTA, but that information is super valuable, especially if for some reason we have COVID and things get lost, and then Erica and I are searching around for the people from Collins or Madison or Schwarzkopf or something that they were the officers 2 years ago, and now we're trying to reactivate you and trying to find a bank account. So it's just very helpful, so that we're not losing funds and we're trying to keep our records as consistent as possible. That's just been the current issue with COVID. Kind of put a hiccup in a lot of those things. So chasing things down has been difficult. So it's kind of made it very, we'll say it a lot as far as updating things and filling out that new and returning officers and change of officers so that, we're not harassing you if you've moved to Minnesota. I don't have anything to do, but it says you do. So. Anybody else? Right. Hit us with your best shot, or at least Erica.
Yeah. My lawn crew just showed up. Sorry, everybody.
So we're hoping most of our middle schools can do a cyberbullying, human trafficking event next year. I'm on the human trafficking committee with Lynn Gray. We've been working on creating a program for you guys. So hopefully.
When will we have more information on that? Because I'm meeting with the principal of Stewart and whatnot soon to set up our calendar, and I want to make sure to get that into our calendar.
Ask him for a date. Ask him for a date. Just say, we'd like to do a cyberbullying event in collaboration with the county council. Will you give us a date? You give me a date. Okay. I will help you get it all organized.
Perfect. Thank you.
It's a big issue right now. So our partners with No More Foundation, Paving the Way, the FBI, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, we've been trying to create a coalition to tackle some of the issues. Plus, we have a lot of social media, cell phone use, all of that. All these new laws have been passed. So they're working on the policy for the classrooms right now. So expect that probably by the end of, hopefully by end of July. There shouldn't be, I guess, we're gonna go through it, and we'll probably have Ellen on once there's some policy. We'll probably get the school district. Ellen's our VP of advocacy, and we'll have a detailed overview of it in a Zoom so that everybody understands what it means, so that when people come to you and say, they won't let my kid use his cell phone in the classroom. Well, it's state law now. So, but how the district's going to manage that, I really don't know. And I know that they're working on creating that policy. So we will do our best to get that information to you in partnership with them. But hopefully it will help in the classroom. I really don't know how they're going to manage it. Seems like a big beast to control all the kids' cell phones at school. So
yeah,
I don't know. I'm glad I'm not them trying to figure that out. We are definitely in those conversations and, trying to give them feedback when they ask. So.
Amy.
Yes.
Hi, this is Victoria Tusio again. I just want to comment something really quick regarding that as a person that is in the classroom. It is a big issue. And if there is a huge poster that we can put right there next to the blackboard for the children to see it, it would not be an issue. Yeah. Because we have a small little white piece of paper that has the cell phone and a no sign on top of it. And it's just nothing that makes an impact visually on them. If it's a big poster that we can post, they would know it's not okay.
I'm sorry.
I think that expectation that it will probably be a big rollout for the district, as far as it will be a discussion at open houses. It will be pushed out in communications because it is a huge change, and because it is a new state law. I don't think it's going to be just a poster as well. I think it's going to be even more. So hopefully that helps. I know it's so distracting to have cell phones in a classroom. I can't do two things at once. I don't know. These kids are amazing sometimes, but it's distracting for the teachers and learning disruptions. So, but I have a feeling we're going to see a concerted effort from the district to make sure that this communication is pushed out in multiple ways as well. But I'll make sure I mention a poster, because I know sometimes it's just those little teeny pieces of paper are just that's not effective at all. So, but I have a feeling it'll be an email, it will be social media, it will be videos, it will be open house information. So it'll be coming out in multiple ways.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anybody else got anything?
Sorry about that.
Dogs are out of control at your house.
They are, yeah.
We're real people here, all of us.
He's a golden retriever, so he's beautifully done.
I know that we have an ESE chair this year who's working on trying to create a program for ESE families to, hopefully our PTAs will add an ESE chair or a DEI chair, someone who can be the voice when we're, developing programs and doing different things within our local units, to advocate for all of our students. A lot of our schools have self-contained classrooms, and they're, they are part of our schools. So it's an important chair position, so we can, even if it's a faculty member from the ESE department, to try to get, inclusion for everybody in all of our programming that we're doing.
I'm actually working on that myself. I have a twice exceptional son
Awesome.
who can't go to Pepin Academy because they don't have a gifted program, and is struggling at his elementary school with them hiring, with they're not being able to help him when he needs help. So I was actually looking into a sensory room grant.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Nice.
So, and our so we have the superintendent special education subcommittee. There's a committee that meets once a month, and Miaza, Dr. Morrison, she's our ESE chair, sits on that for us, as well as our secretary for the council. And hopefully the hope is to bring all of that information that comes out of the meeting with all of those partners that are working in the district in different capacities out to all of our families that need those services and might not be aware of them. So that's another facet to that ESE chair position.
There's actually Family Cafe this weekend.
Ooh, nice.
For the special needs families.
Okay.
It's a conference in Orlando.
That's amazing.
That would be great information. We'll have to connect you with Miaza. So she is ESE North at our email address, but I will have her. You're at Stewart.
Now I've got Nairobi's email, so I'll send you Miaza's information.
Oh, that'd be
perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think she's going to do great things this year. So
she is. She's going to join us.
Tried to kick that off during COVID, so I'm glad it's finally the ball is finally rolling on that.
Yeah, and Miaza won't be able to join us on the 19th, but she will join us at President and Principals on the 21st.
Sweet, awesome. Glad to have her. So if you're coming on the 21st, you'll get to meet her. Anybody else before we close it out? Great job, Erica.
Thank you. This was a wonderful turnout, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming out and spending some time with us.
And please reach out if you have any questions. I'm always getting texts and phone calls and emails, and I try my best to answer them very quickly, because I know it's usually urgent when you're asking for something. But if you don't hear back from me, hit me again, because I do get about 300 emails a day for some reason. So we're never here to be punitive in any nature, shape, or form. So we're here to support our local units in every way we possibly can. And I know I speak for my whole board when I say that. We all have that same mission and that mindset that we're here to support you guys. So we know it's hard. We know there's sometimes a lot of conflicts or questions, or things just sometimes get hard. So we're always here to help.
Yes. And if any of you guys want training,
Erica's your girl,
or more in-depth, send me an email. Happy to schedule some one-on-one time as schedule permits, or we can, I have some ideas of some things I'd like to do. We've got K-8s that need support, because the way, K-8 now is combining elementary and middle. And so some of what I'm seeing is middle schools aren't getting their needs met. It's still focused a little too much on elementary. And that's not, again, it's because there's been no training, there's been no opportunity. This K-8 is right.